We're back.
I am in love with that mat. Holy crap.
Round 5 is about to begin.
I love it.
Yet another black cooler. Because why not?
I love it.
Versus red Ruthless, probably Broly. Oh, is that... Wait a minute. Is Bondi back on stream? The hand is in the way, I can't tell.
What?
If that's Rich Bondi on the right again.
That mat, though. I love it. Because it was their regional last year. It's just Forgotten Path. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Indeed. Bondi back for his second stream match this event with Black Cooler. It's fought his way out of losers, so that's looking all right. 3 wins after that close-ish loss to Matt Lowe in round 1.
Oh, I'm just going to keep talking about how much I love that mat.
Do it.
It's
good
beautiful.
mat.
I don't remember seeing pictures of that last year. It's great. I love it. Excitement. More garlic. All the hype. All the time. I mean, I personally am almost a garlic exclusive player. I have the most fun with that deck. That MP. Doesn't mean I'm good. I just like it. It's fun. I'm kind of bummed out it's another cooler. Also the same cooler we saw earlier. But,
Right.
I mean,
So, not only the same...
I think they're just picking from top table, because everyone has had the same record
well,
every single round.
Sure, that can be completely true. Well, yeah, the top table, but not the top match, because this would be an undefeated.
That's what I said, from the top table.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
I would like to see some random weirdness, but I mean, we have no say. We're just given what we got. Can't complain. We've seen some good matches. At least it's not another...
Oh, that 16 deck is 2-2 apparently. You know, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Like,
he's won
it's Android
some.
16.
He's won some.
Roll those dice. Let's begin this round.
Woohoo.
Roll them again.
Do you know if they've updated the blog at all with any kind of things?
They put something up in the morning. I'm not sure if it's been
I saw
updated
the morning
since.
one.
All right.
I wasn't sure if they had anything new.
Black Cooler goes first. In this epic battle of Brawly trying to smush his face and Black Cooler trying to not die through massive rejuvenation.
Yeah. More or less.
Couple of passes. Paul's setting up a masteryable card for his first combat, which will be now. That's not necessarily surprising. And an anger off of the collision, I believe that card's called. Banish effect from discard. To get real mad.
Angry time. Okay, the blog was updated last round.
Mm-hmm. All right, first deck goes through, and I believe...
Because I haven't been, like, really...
I believe on
it.
hit, that card makes Paul's style attacks unpreventable for the rest of combat. Which will be a nice chunk of damage. But then Bondi immediately responds with a wall breaker, which is super good. Like, you do not want Brawly going nuts with levels. I'm not sure if Paul runs Unleashed in his Ruthless Brawly build. I really like Unleashed in that deck. He doesn't have one this combat, so he's not going to quite circumvent the wall breaker for leveling purposes with that this turn, but it may come to that in combats to come. So over the course of the whole game, if he's running Unleashed build, that will definitely make the wall breaker not game breaking right here.
Yeah.
And Bondi out of combat with a blinding, which is, yeah, that's absolutely what he would have wanted to do there. Just
capture,
flick on a wall breaker,
corruption.
take a very minimal amount of damage, and then bail.
Yeah.
So that combat went just fine for him.
Get in.
That is not how
poke,
most
get out.
Right. That is not how most
Broly
first combats
yeah.
go for Broly Ruthless decks. So
I think he held onto a sphere. I'm pretty sure.
Deadly Cloak currently ahead of the curve in terms of how that turn could have played out. Coming again, because Broly doesn't slow down.
Yeah. Broly has 1 speed. Vroom vroom. Smash truck.
Sure. Bondi, Rejuve, Supernova, 2 put it back.
Where does Deadly Cloak come from? Is that just like a screen name?
His screen name has always been something Cloak. It wasn't always Deadly Cloak, but there has been Cloak in it, so that might be the latest iteration.
Time-honored handle.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Oh man. And he's going to take that dig to the dome. I doubt Paul will level him, but it's not out of the question. But either way, then all that preventable damage. Yeah, he's not leveling.
Yeah.
Bondi will take solid early defensive measures of mastering a thing away. But then he'll draw a card by pitching that physical, which draws when it's discarded from an opponent's card effect. So Paul will suffer no hand loss for that, which is going to be a real bummer. And here comes dig number 2. Okay. At least we've got one answer on the black cooler side. So stop the attacking in some stages. Still going to be a very scary turn.
Yeah. Every turn is a scary turn.
Right. Every turn with Ruthless is kind of scary. Every turn with Ruthless and dig out is especially scary. Bondi calling Broly's Face Crusher, which is a good, certainly a fine guess. Like he doesn't have information on Paul's hand at this point, so he's just got to shoot for stuff that would be useful this combat, and that card definitely would. Say that card does something. I don't know. I don't love it.
I don't have the laptop over by me anymore, so I can't look. You've got it.
I'm going to say it's a mediocre red physical. But it did crit through thanks to the digs, so he got rid of Wallbreaker.
Super easy way to find out. But you won't.
Bondi passes Paul with Broly Power.
Ouch. And we out.
And again, like, actually that turn could have gone way worse for Bondi than it did, so that was all right. But he is behind now, so like we said with every other cooler match before, he's not going to start really digging his way out of that deficit unless he hits level 2. So if he can not manage to get off a 1 this game, I can't see a path to victory for him.
So I think aside from the mirror, we haven't seen a cooler get off of 1 today.
Right, yeah.
And we've seen a lot of coolers.
Or like they were fluctuating, like they got up and then got kicked back down relatively.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure the only time we saw a cooler level today was in the mirror.
Sure.
And they went up and down a few times. Things have been nuts.
Paul's entering again, which, that's the deck. Red Ruthless presses the advantage. And it kind of only has 1 speed anyway. Like, you're either killing them by attacking a bunch or you're not. But Bondi with a black delay, I believe. So that's going to pitch a card from his hand, which is super awesome because he stopped Brawly's personality power.
Static shot.
Lost a static shot, which is, I don't know about that card in Red Brawly. Yeah. It's fine, I guess. It's more unpreventable damage. But it's definitely, I would say, a slightly unconventional choice for Ruthless Brawly builds. Mastery follow-up. So again, the brakes have really been put on Paul this turn. He lost 2 viable cards and 2 actions here. So he's not going to have that many more bullets to fire this combat, most likely. So Bondi's at the very least doing a good job of weathering the storm, but at some point he's got to start regaining the advantage. And like I said, stuck at level 1, it's just a really hard thing to pull off. And in fact, now Double Strike was probably one of the better things he could have had. Paul could have had both in terms of damage and managing Cooler's levels, because it'll plink for 2 separate anger lowering effects due to the mastery buff. I believe that is.
Did he Cooler? Is that what he did?
That's what I thought, but no, maybe he tugged. That must have, because he
maybe.
shuffled his deck. I was like, because Cooler wouldn't shuffle his deck.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he must have just tugged into his life deck for. Second Double Strike for buttload. Lowered all the anger that Bondi does not have.
Yeah.
And he'll throw a. Well, that could have turned out worse. He threw a choke into giving Brawley more anger. And I don't even like that. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what Paul was thinking there. Because he super didn't need to stop that choke. I would have just gone for more damage. Like, I would have taken it and tried to mastery whatever was on the top of his discard pile if it was an attack. Which I would guess by the mathematics of most Brawley Ruthless builds, it probably would have been one. But, he's in the lead right now. He can afford to make a few suboptimal plays and probably still come out of this just fine. That relaxation is going to be a big deal. It's just one more form of card advantage. He's at 3 anger right now, so Paul is also dangerously close to getting to level 3, which is absolutely the kill level for Brawley.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it came in after he had put down, like, it came in out of before he had the declaration on, and he's got no way to get rid of it, declaring we'll just have him use it. Like, it's happening. The relaxation. And I can't tell with the glare.
Yeah, look at the size of that discard pile. Like,
yeah. He's gotten
Bondi's hanging
punched
on by
quite
a
a
thread
bit.
right now. And he has 0 anger currently. I'm pretty sure we do know, based on him milling his whole life deck last game as well, that he doesn't run Unleashed build. So he doesn't have any guaranteed levels that can kind of come out of blue like that for Cooler.
I guess the Rejuve will get rid of it. I forgot about that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course he's got Supernovas lurking in there. He's taking a buttload of damage. Well, Powerball will definitely help weather the storm, and he got the anger lower to boot. So that's going to be hopefully preventable damage, unless Paul's got yet another answer for prevention in his hand this combat, and he might keep Brawley off of 3 this turn with that anger hit. Which, yeah, if Paul gets to level 3 at any point in the future, that's essentially going to be the end of the game. Stuck at level 2, he's kind of in, like, stasis mode. Like, Ruthless Brawley never stops, but it slows down a little bit between 1 and 3.
Yeah. Dev blow.
Dev blow. I mean, that'll do a decent amount of damage. It's buffed by Brawley's power. He's going to be big on the chart. Cooler's only at 4 above.
Yeah.
Again, he lowered anger that Rich doesn't even have. So even if he was like actively riding that anger train, Paul would be knocking it straight back down. Did 2 stages after the modifier from Powerball. Brawley power to banish a card. That's a good card to banish.
Yeah.
That would have been the card he chose, probably, if you were allowed to search and banish a card. So that turned out all right. Bondi, I believe, has 10 cards.
Yeah. 2.
I say Paul's got 30 or more. 30 exactly.
Wow, nice. Ouch. Yeah,
All right.
clever. I like
Sure.
it.
Times are tough. Why not?
Gotta bring all the cards back in we
Sure.
can.
I both don't hate that play, but it's also sort of admitting defeat.
Yeah. I mean, he also doesn't have anything out. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's just like
yeah.
that 1 extra card and 2 extra endurance isn't going to turn the game around, and he's in no position to gain any other kind of advantage. So, like, it's hard. I don't blame any player for not scooping in a major event.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to bow out. But if this were a local, I would scoop. Like, if this were just for funsies, I'd be like, I have no path to victory here. I'm out. But I respect him for
he
fighting
got
on.
a defensive burst. Like, that's not nothing. He could enter, maybe.
I know, quite honestly, that's probably the only hand he realistically could enter on.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
come
the
out
rest
with and come out with an advantage by the end of the combat, but it has to hit. So I'm not sure how thick Paul's block line is. Probably not very, but you never know. People change that stuff up. Like, some people prioritize interesting counts of certain cards. So maybe he does have, plenty of physical blocks in the chamber.
He's got a supernova, a swipe, and another declaration. Like,
I don't think a better opportunity is going to
especially
present
not
itself.
now.
So well, all right. I'm not sure.
No.
Oh man. All right. Well,
I mean,
he might have just signed his own death certificate there, because Paul can almost enter and just throw an attack that will kill him.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that move. I have no idea why he passed there. It's sure, like I said, it still wouldn't have been, easy to win the game by
maybe
entering,
it wasn't
but
enough actions for him. Maybe he wanted just. Well, he's got to blow that up. Like.
Argue
Okay.
those novas. And well, the giant, he doesn't have priority. Like, he doesn't act first.
Yeah.
So like I said, he has to blind draw into a block basically to
Which he
wither
did. He
storm.
didn't get. He has a swipe, but that's not. That's not going to help as much.
Is he just looking through piles, or did he?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
This is from Nervous Breakdown 87. Hey Dustin, as someone who won Open Worlds in 2003, don't you wish Worlds were open these days and there was just a sick invitational?
I do, and we'll talk about that a little more. Like, we'll stay on maybe for a few minutes after this match ends, and I'll try to address that more verbosely. But yes, I do. If it were up to me, I would make Worlds an open event. Bondi's still evaluating his options.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, I just don't.
Because like he has 10 and he's just
And he does have the block for it.
I mean,
but
he
yeah.
would have had it last turn anyway.
Sure, but he would have been blind
Yeah.
drawing for it. Like, you always have the advantage in terms of hand composition by
Yeah.
attacking. Like, your opponent doesn't know what they're going to draw, and
So
you
he
know what you
Broly
have.
powered.
Yeah,
showing to
this
attack.
game's over. So Rich is going to have to fight real hard
To anything.
to win the rest of his rounds to still shoot for that top cut. But again, like you said, I guess due to the heart of the cards, Paul would have drawn that block anyway.
Yeah.
If he wasn't holding it. I don't think he was, but I'm not 100% certain.
That
But
I don't remember exactly.
In terms of people who are watching the stream trying to learn stuff about how to generate, some positive game states for yourself, that's one of them. It's like sometimes you have to declare really rough combats that you certainly don't know you're going to come out ahead in, but by the nature of entering combat and taking the first action and knowing what your hand composition is and having your opponent draw blind, you are giving yourself an advantage that can play out. And you have to take those shots sometimes, like if you want to, play through the course of a tournament and make cut and go beyond. Cooler power for mill a card. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just waiting for Paul to be able to play enough attacks to actually win the game.
Which I
Yeah,
mean
that's
isn't enough. Like it's not that much because
Right.
like he had 10 going in.
Yeah. Again, like I hope,
You have I believe it's Eric who's piloting the Team Badman Twitch account.
oh, right on.
He says he loves you.
I love you too, man. Thanks. Yeah, I hope Bondi's able to pull himself. He
Yeah.
looked maybe like a tad peeved with the way that whole game went.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Like, it's
Broly's rough.
nobody likes losing. it's always good if you can try to lose as graciously as possible. Like, I like it when people have a good attitude, but, you know, you get salty, especially with that loss, which is, it doesn't count them out of top cut completely, but it's damn close.
Yeah, it's a blow.
Yeah. You know, everybody likes to...
Oh,
Priority
more
one.
texting.
Priority one. I say, don't unlock your phone on the stream. Priority one, show up, you know, play with distinction, be cool to your opponents. And then priority two, try your best to win the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll still be rooting for him. So we'll see if he can squeeze out wins in those last 2 games. Congrats to Paul for a solid performance with Ruthless Brawley. That deck does what it did, and it rolls over people if you're running like more passive builds
Still,
that can't pull
I
together.
got one more shout out to that beautiful, beautiful garlic mat. I love it. It's great.
But anyway, so that's the end of that round. So back to the question, because it was basically just like, do I think Worlds would be better if it was an open event again? And I don't know. Like, I personally would like that. I just love the idea of the biggest tournament, like the big giant tournament where every single person, you know, regardless of how they were able to be mobile, like previously in the tournament scene, like, because people, especially now that, you know, we're all older, because back for the crew who was playing when this game was new, most of those players were like in their teens or preteens and something. Like I was like maybe like 13 when I started this game, maybe even 12. I forget exactly at this point. But and then kind of played it through high school and a little beyond. But like nowadays, you know, people have jobs and families and they have big boy obligations that, you know, you can't go to as many events over the weekends and stuff as you would like, you know, due to time or money or both. But you could probably go to one, and you know, people still do that, but I just think it would be cool if that one event that you could go to, like I'm going to take vacation time or whatever, save up my pennies and carve out my calendar such that I'm going to go to the big event and I'm going to show up with the deck that I built and I'm going to have as good a shot to win as anyone else. Because like once round one starts, it's an even playing field, and then it's all about the deck building decisions you made and the execution you can pull off. So I don't know, personally, there's just something about that I really enjoy. Like, I think that's really cool. On the flip side, and I don't know this for certain, but this would be my guess as to why it's still an invitation-based event, is that helps, in turn, draw turnouts for the regionals.
Yeah.
Like, people are more likely to go to those events because people want invites. And it's good for the game and the player base. And the people playing in the individual events, rather, when those events have good turnouts. So, approaching it from that perspective, I think it still makes sense to have it as an invitational event. I bet you could still, you know, open it up, but I understand why they do it that way.
And to be fair, like they had, like, especially like this year compared to last, like, because last year they didn't maybe know exactly what they wanted to do at like that scale event, but this year they've got a lot of other stuff happening around, like the last chance qualifier before. There's other activities like events, and they have like voice actors and stuff around for people not playing to enjoy. But yeah, like, I mean, it is kind of sad, but it is understandable why it's
like I said, I get it. And there's a whole I couldn't speak to the internal complexities of how to, you know, like, make and market and sell the game.
Me either.
Because the card game environment, like,
is weird.
It's shifted so drastically compared to what it was, like, when this game was fresh, like, when it was new in the early 2000s or whatever. Like, the fact that collectible card games still exist is kind of crazy, just from a, like, you know, you have to have the business model that, like, you can make some amount of money, enough to keep putting out content or whatever. But, like, you know, we got stuff like this that hopefully helps a little bit. Like, I hope that, you know, when we do streams and stuff and other people do streams and they see people playing at events, that, like, hopefully it engages them to keep wanting to play the game and, you know, be stoked about getting into matches. But it's just, like, in terms of, if I were just a businessman, like, if I didn't care about either card games or Dragon Ball Z.
You wanted that bottom line.
Right, and I was just looking at a spreadsheet and saying what could get me the most money that I can get. I would think that a collectible card game would be very low on that list of things you could produce that would facilitate the ability to acquire wealth.
I mean,
but I'm glad that they do it.
Unless you stack the environment in such a way that you've, like, the best cards are as scarce as they are, and then you're selling singles, like.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a whole different thing.
That's scummy, though. That's horrible businessman talk that I know nothing of.
Well, yeah, and in fact,
that defeats
things
the
that would
spirit
raise a
of
whole
it.
bunch of questions if the
Yeah.
company physically producing the sealed product was also selling singles.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Sketchy.
But that's a hypothetical we won't go down.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that'll do it for round 5. I hope I answered that
yeah,
question
it is round 5. I thought it was 4.
satisfactorily.
Satisfactorily.
We'll
That's
be back.
a word.
We'll be back in a little bit. I'm checking my phone. Give me 1 second, folks. We'll be back in probably a little before round 6 because I think we might have
Uh-oh.
a caller or two coming in. We had organized. You'll see when we get back. There may or may not be someone coming in.
One
from
other
internet to join
comment
us.
on the business aspect of it. Again, it's nervous breakdown. Yeah, but you wouldn't think that if you were already in the business of selling sports cards and whatever,
Oh, and
then
that's-
making a new game would be creating a new stream of revenue.
Right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why it exists.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Like
That's the
this
only
game wouldn't
reason.
have gotten made by someone starting a business venture
Yeah.
that were like, "What are we gonna do?" This game got made, and
or
luckily for all of us,
or in a vacuum, because like there was people
Sure.
who had
Yeah, exactly.
access,
It was kind of a
part
perfect
of the
storm.
old game in
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it was kind of a perfect storm because
Oh, yeah.
Panini is still a trading card company, and Ake and there might be other people, but as far as I know, he's the only one at Panini that has ties to that original game still. So they had, someone who could pull the trigger and make it happen, with the skills they had.
Yeah, like
they
you
had
said,
the means.
perfect
They still had the
storm,
connections
basically.
because they're still down in Texas with Funimation, and they can make those deals happen again. They had the history with the game because ultimately Panini's the company that bought Score.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the case that we got it, and I'm glad that it happened, it was just kind of a perfect storm of, oh, they are actually suited to make
Yeah.
this execute, but yeah, I can't see that happening. Like, I can't see someone taking out a bank loan and being, I'm gonna go
I'm gonna go
found
make
a
some
found a
anime
card
cards.
game company and make trading card
Oh,
games
yeah.
to try to accrue a vast fortune.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but all right. Well, yeah, that's gonna do it. We'll be back in a little bit. Like I said, probably 15
Oh,
15
you're
to
so
20
close.
minutes. We'll probably be back at just before round 6 starts. So
Let's try and
stick with us, and we'll be back in a little bit.
here you go. Yeah.